Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 21st. Sorry. We are going to jump right in here. And in your first position, you have the Stag Spirit, which says take the lead on it. You also have the Two of Wands, which is also a card of leadership. So, number one, if you're interested in a person, I would say don't be afraid to take the lead in the situation. Maybe you have to reach out first or communicate first, or maybe you have to shoot your shot or something here, Sag, is what I would say. For others, I feel that this is encouraging you to actually take the lead right here. You have this Come to the Edge card, and the Come to the Edge card is like a card of pushing yourself outside of a comfort zone so that you can be successful. And, you know, we all kind of have these, like, certain boundaries, right? Even scientists have done studies that they've, like, taken people who make, like, $50,000 a year, then they go to make $100,000 a year, and guess what happens? Like, within, like, a year or less, they always go back to making $50,000 a year because they've created a comfort zone for themselves. And I feel like this is saying, like, how can you create new comfort zones or no comfort zone where you just are constantly expanding? And I feel like you're trying to, get into that place. So again, you have this Take the Lead card with the Stag Spirit, so I would stay focused. It's also a card of like tuning in, using your intuition to tap into the universe. You can see he has these antlers on his head, and I really feel that it just seems to be a very kind of intuitive week for everyone. Almost every single person has had something intuitive. You have the Hierophant, the Two of Wands, and the Knight of Cups. The Hierophant is the bridge between the heavens and the earth. Hold on, I'm gonna fix that, Sagittarius. There we go. He is, as I was saying, the bridge between the heavens and the earth. So there is a very deep, like, spiritual connection going on in this reading, and I feel like tapping into your higher self, meditating, going for walks, doing whatever it is that you do, is going to be very important for you. You also have this Two of Wands. Two of Wands, I feel, is again saying take the lead. Again, he needs to, there is like, this reading's actually very simple. As always, you have the full moon in Sagittarius next that says, see the big picture. There is this like need in this reading, I feel, for you to kind of like exceed your own expectations. He thinks that he has accomplished everything that he can accomplish at the top of the Two of Wands. He's standing at the top of a castle, and, the whole story is that he has rushed to a finish line. He, again, feels like there's nothing more for him to accomplish, so he thinks he's done. But he has a whole world in his hands. It's like there's so much more that he can do. And maybe you need to believe that. Maybe you need to kind of believe in your wildest dreams. You have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, of course, can be a knight in shining armor, can be love coming in for you. But, it's also like a card of a dream. I always say he's normally looking into that cup, and he might be imagining something coming in for him, or he might be imagining what could come in for him in the future. So I feel that you could be, or that there's like an opportunity to accomplish or create a lot in your life right now. But I feel you kind of need to, more see the big picture or expand your picture even bigger is what I would say. So, it's like I think you need to realize like what is possible. With the Hierophant, you have the King of Pentacles. Could be a Taurus coming in for some of you if you are looking for love. I feel like this person finds you very attractive. So I would go for it. I also do feel like your finances are improving. Very boring, though. I'm not going to lie. I'm not the biggest fan of the King of Pentacles sometimes for finances, unless, I don't want to speak too soon because we're going to clarify this whole reading. But, sometimes it's just like saving money, doing the boring stuff with money. Is that a bad thing, though? Probably not. With the Two of Wands, you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is a card of experimentation. It's like, it kind of reminds me of The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I think in The Big Leap, he asks the question, if life were, if everything went like 100% according to plan for you, what would you do? Like if nothing could ever go wrong, what would you do with your life? And I kind of get that here. It's like, what would you do with your life if everything were perfect? If everything just went Sagittarius's way? It's like, what would that look like for you? And I think you need to start imagining that, Sagittarius. It's like, it is like a little bit of positive thinking here, but I still, again, I kind of feel like you need to think like that. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Eight of Cups here. Walking away from things that no longer serve you, definitely walking towards fulfillment. So what things in your life would also lead to more fulfillment or make you feel more fulfilled? We kind of see this at the end as well with the Eight of Cups. The Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is a card of fulfillment, happiness, good things coming in for you for sure. Next, you have this full moon in Sagittarius. It says, see the big picture. I feel like you need to be the big picture. So, I think you need to look at all the opportunities, all the things that you can accomplish in your life, and you need to multiply them by 1,000. I always say that, with Neptune and Pisces, it's like manifestation on steroids. We also have Jupiter in Pisces until the end of the year almost. And, to me, that just multiplies that by 1 billion. So I think that you need to dream big and then dream bigger and, just kind of exceed your own expectations, surprise yourself, right? And there's no one who can do this for you. You're going to have to do it for yourself, right? You have the Four of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. You can see that she has her hand out to the Ace of Cups here. You can see that there's a cup being offered to this man right here. It kind of looks like the same cup that's on the Ace of Cups. I mean, it looks like the same hand that's on the Ace of Cups here. So the Four of Cups, to me, is like a card of contemplation and apathy. He's sitting here meditating. Maybe he's manifesting those cups in front of him, but he isn't accepting those cups in his life. I frequently say that the Four Cups is like trying to manifest a cake. He's manifested the flour, the sugar, the eggs, but he's disappointed because he doesn't have a cake. And I feel like you're manifesting the steps. You're manifesting the things necessary to get you to your true manifestation, what you truly want, whatever that is for you. And I feel like you need to realize that you're manifesting the steps. You literally have the Two of Pentacles right next to it. And Two of Pentacles, number one, says work hard, play hard, but it also could represent putting in the work to, get to fully create what you want. The Queen of Swords is about finally seeing things clearly. She is open to transformation as well. And so I feel like for some of you, I am getting that there are some things that need to change for you to manifest whatever your Ace of Cups is. And the Ace of Cups is probably your wildest dreams, like I said on the Knight of Cups. And I feel like this is saying there are some changes that need to happen. These changes, for whatever reason, I kind of feel like for some of you, it's people in your life. There might be certain people that kind of hold you back, or there might be certain people in your life who aren't right for you, or whatever. Take it how it resonates. For others, I feel it has to do with your environment. So it's if you know that there are things that are bad for you in your environment, remove those things. It's if you're trying to get healthy like me, I have no junk food in my house. If I do, I'm going to eat it no matter what. So I just don't even get it anymore, right? Same thing with work. It's if I know that there are certain things that distract me, so they just aren't even in my house, plain and simple. It's how can you create an environment of success is what I feel like she is saying. You also have this Knight of Swords. Don't run back to the past. Don't run back to your old ways. Sometimes I think when we're changing, again, one of my favorite books of all time, The War of Art. No, I'm not talking about The Art of War. People always correct me. I am talking about The War of Art, totally different book. In that book, he talks about how when we are closest to our goal, when we are really close to changing our life, that's when we meet the most resistance. That's when most people run away. Remember what we said about the come to the edge card? It's almost like you're expanding your boundaries, what you're kind of, expanding what you're capable of doing. And it's when we do that, that's when we meet the most resistance. I see that Knight of Swords as running back to the past. I feel like it's saying don't do that. With the Four of Cups, you have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is a card of freedom. It's a card of celebration. These people are celebrating on the other side of Four of Wands. They're really happy. They're having a good time. So I feel there's a celebration and happiness coming in for you with the Four of Wands. I also feel, again, freedom coming in for you with the Four of Wands as well. So, I love it. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Queen of Swords. This is clearly the direction you want to go. You want to go towards the future. So I would go towards the future. She has her sword up, but she's willing to receive. I actually feel this is perfectly acceptable for you, by the way. If the future is a new love offer and that Knight of Swords is a past love offer going this way, right? I feel like it's perfectly acceptable for you to put up some boundaries and have your hand out and be willing to receive. And that's kind of the mode that I would be in if I were you. Same thing in work or business, as well. You might be cautiously optimistic with the Queen of Swords. With the Knight of Swords, I'm telling you right now, the Knight of Swords is a nightmare. I would avoid that Knight of Swords energy, which again, I'm kind of seeing it as running back to the past. That does not mean, it doesn't have to mean a person, right? It could mean, a way of being or a certain belief system or whatever. I would be careful of self-sabotage here as well. It's again, sometimes I think we start finding success and then we do things to ruin it. And I feel this is saying, don't do that. with the Knight of Swords. Next, you have this Come to the Edge card. Again, I feel sometimes that this represents needing to push yourself to the edge and then push yourself just a little bit further. It kind of reminds me always of like growth. If you want to grow your muscles, for example, you aren't going to grow your muscles lifting the same amount of weight for the most part. And I'm sure, like, again, like last time I said this, some little nerd came in my comments and explained to me the whole muscle process. I'm giving an example here. I don't care, right? Number one. Number two, for the most part, if you are lifting the same amount of weight, for the most part, and you are trying to grow your muscles, they're not going to grow. So we have to always pick bigger weights, right? We have to lift more weight. And that's what I feel like this is talking about, is it's like saying that you're exercising your boundaries, or you're exercising what you think you are capable of doing. You could be working harder. You could be having more fun as well. I mean, you have the Two of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. Two of Pentacles, work hard, play hard. So, you know, you could be exercising the muscle of having fun. How much fun can you have? How much is too much? How can you have more fun? How can you do more fun things, or, you know, do things that you actually want to do? But maybe the boundary is, maybe fun for you costs money, right? So it's like you're having to push the boundary of making the extra money so that you can have more fun. It's like I see you doing like all these things, like total expansion in this reading. But again, it's going to be like a muscle. You're lifting weights here. I feel like it's going to take time. You're building bigger muscles. There are going to be times where you have to rest. So maybe things kind of seem like they're going down. This is how life works. And I feel this reading is just encouraging you to keep pushing forward, to not give up, because clearly you are heading towards total fulfillment. And again, I don't know if I said this. This is your future position, by the way. And I feel like you're heading towards total fulfillment, happiness, enjoyment, just like enjoying life, enjoying how things are going for you. I love this. I'm also getting something about travel here. So some of you, I don't know why, other than, you know, if you're looking for a new home, I do feel if you're looking for a new home or a new place to live, that you're going to be finding a lot of fulfillment in like whatever the new place is. So if you're going towards somewhere new, I feel like there's, you know, happiness coming in. There could be like additional benefits as well. To me, additional benefits in like a move, for example, are maybe you find a place that's like cheaper and bigger, and maybe you also get a job that pays you more. It's like a win-win-win type of situation. I kind of see that happening for you. You have the Queen of Wands as well. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. It's also about taking a risk. She is the only Wands court card that doesn't have salamanders on her cloak. Salamanders in the tarot represent protection from fire. So she is like protected from risk. She is protected from, I mean, she's not protected from risk, but really she is. She will be perfectly fine, but she has to do things kind of on her own. She has to be bold, assertive, courageous. She also has to like learn as she goes. So, you know, some of you might be entering, that could be where this feels a little risky with that Come to the Edge card. It's like you're doing new things, expanding your boundaries, or lifting bigger weights, as I was saying, you know, growing in the things that you're doing. And maybe you're having to learn as you go. Maybe you're having to figure things out as you move forward. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Tower. Every single person practically has had the Tower this week. Again, probably another global Tower moment. Could also be a surprise as well. There could also just be, you know, I think that just in general, we're in a time of great change. So we're seeing a lot of changes going around us, and I think we personally are changing as well. So, you know, just a sign of the times, right? With the Ace of Cups, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is like conflict and competition. But it's also a card of going on adventure. I call this card Indiana Jones because to me, it's like a card of going on a crazy adventure to get some treasure. So it kind of says like, don't be afraid to, you know, expand your boundaries. Don't be afraid to take little risks, right? That's where all the success is going to come from for you. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is like self-imposed restriction. Again, needing to set yourself free. I feel like you are much more free than you realize. I would like tap in with your intuitive senses this week for the most part as well. We're going to pull 5 main themes for you this week as well. You have this Lion card. It says time to act on it. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. So I feel like it's definitely time for you to take action on something. You know, the Tower could say that you're like surprising people around you by taking action, by moving towards something as well. You have the Skull. It says hidden secrets can harm you. Again, this is just a sign of the times. It's funny that like a couple weeks ago I was talking about lying and secrets. And that whole thing about that crypto exchange came out, like big secret. Well, was it really secret? I don't know. But, you know, it basically exposed. We are just in a time of the truth being exposed. Probably not a bad thing. You know, probably going to lead to positive changes. So I wouldn't really worry about it. But Definitely something to pay attention to. I've been telling people all week as well, like, be careful of tricky people, or if you have people in your life who you know are manipulative or keep secrets, I would definitely be careful of that. You have this dog close up. It says pleasure with close friends. You have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands can be marriage, but it's kind of like, I feel like there's love here if you want it, but I don't really see it as a love reading. But I do think that the Four of Wands is a great card for socializing, being with your community, spending time with friends and people you care about. Great card for doing that as well. So I think it's a great time for that. Next, you have this horse card. It says short journey. I think we talked about travel here or moving. So it wouldn't surprise me if you were traveling or moving. I also think that, again, it would be a good time to explore your boundaries with that come to the edge card. Maybe try a little bit of something. Maybe you want to grow your business. Take like a tiny risk, like a tiny calculated risk, and just see what happens, right? If it works, keep going. If it doesn't work, stop. Same thing in love. It's like, go on. Maybe you're afraid that everyone's a cheater, but maybe you also want love. So maybe it would be a good time just go on a couple dates and see what happens, and put just no pressure. Just see what happens, right? That type of energy here. Finally, you have the Sunrise card. Says new creative idea, new ventures, a fresh start. You have like the Four of Wands, the Tower. All these cards can kind of represent a fresh start. Even the Tower, really, the Tower gets reduced down to its foundation, but it's because those people have built the tower up too high around them. They're trying to protect themselves from reality. They're ignoring reality, and it can kind of represent a fresh start because they're being grounded in reality. They're coming back down to earth. So I feel that for some of you that there could be a tower moment, although I think if there is a tower moment, it's not like that big of a deal. It's not like a totally bad tower moment. I think it's more like you're just accepting reality. So there you go. We're going to pull 3 cards here, Sagittarius, and I'm going to answer one question. If you have a question, great. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm going to put all 3 of these cards together and answer them as kind of like a personalish reading as well at the end. But if you have a question, feel free to pause the reading right now because I'm about to read the cards. You have the King of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Ten of Wands here. I feel for some of you that this could be the truth coming out here. You have that Skull card. I would be careful. I mean, here's the thing is, like, if you're dealing with a relationship, for example, and you had a person who was like a liar, cheater, stealer, and they're coming in and telling you the truth and wanting forgiveness and all this other stuff, or maybe they're like wanting to return to your life, it's like, why did they lie in the first place? That's like my thing, especially when dealing with adults, right? If you're dealing with children, totally different story, but I doubt that you're dating a child, right? So maybe they act like one. But what I would say here is, like, when dealing with adults, I mean, it's nice when a person comes back and apologizes, but at the same time, it's like, why'd you do it in the first place? You're an adult. You know the difference between right or wrong. So I feel some of you need to think about that, and realize that it's like, why did they do it in the first place? That's literally what's popping into my head. For others, I feel like this is your own inner truth, which could be a burden. The reason again, everybody has been getting something about our inner truth. Your inner truth could be a burden because maybe you're a lawyer or a dentist, or maybe you have a career, but maybe you really want to be a cake baker, right? Or something like that. So it's like, I think we are all being faced with our truth. We are all seeing our reflection on a very deep level right now. And I feel like this right here is your reflection, Sagittarius. You're seeing your actual true reflection, what you truly want in life. And if you don't have it, that could be a burden. 10 of Wands, right? The good news is that you have the Ace of Swords, which is like a victory, and you also show up as the King of Wands. So it tells me that you are perfectly capable of manifesting the reflection that you see for yourself, but there are going to be some changes that need to be made, and we see that here as well with the Tower. So it doesn't really surprise me. Again, I always tell people you're not watching tarot to be scared either. So that tower's coming up in the future position. You're watching tarot so you can avoid these things. How can you avoid the tower? Well, you can face reality. I really feel there's some sort of reality you need to face, but it's going to change your life for the better. This is not like a scary thing. You're actually going to be doing things that you actually want to do with your life is how I see this reading. Very interesting. Good reading as well. I really like this. Again, I think these changes are never necessarily easy, but we always feel way better after. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.